Dating Confessions is intended for immature listeners over the age of 18. This podcast is NSFW, and listener discretion is strongly advised.
Does hearing about the crazy shit that happens in other people's lives make you feel better about your own? Each week, Alicia and Jack share scandalous, raunchy, and straight-up crazy dating and relationship stories submitted to us by listeners like you.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Jack.
And this is Dating Confessions. So this one it's short, but it is sweet. It is very sweet. This guy, he went out on a date and he said it was weird, but it wasn't necessarily the date that was weird.
It was the girl?
Yeah, you got it. You got it. He says they went out to dinner. And I guess it sounds like she probably, either they drove separately or maybe she dropped him off, because he says that when they got back to his house, because he wasn't feeling it, he already knew that he wasn't into her. So he let her know, thank you, I had a nice time, good night. 2 hours later, this bitch is just hanging out in the parking lot of his apartment complex in case he changed his mind about wanting to hang out later. Stalker.
What do you do for 2 hours in an apartment complex parking lot?
You sit and you watch his windows, like the stalker that you are.
Do you think she has a stalker playlist for when she does that? Because this can't be the first time that she's done that.
If she does, that Clay Aiken song is on there.
Wow. Wow.
If I was invisible, Google it.
That's great.
So yeah, no, that is super weird. And that's the end of the story. So I have no idea what happened. That's great though. I love it.
He fell for her tricks.
2 hours.
And then got laid.
2 hours just in case he changed his mind. Well, I mean, yeah, she didn't want to drive all the way home and then have to drive all the way back. That's annoying.
If you're going to drive all the way home, you're not going to drive all the way back unless you really need some dick. And for that matter, on your drive home, I'm sure you can find some random dick walking on the street.
I don't know, man. She was honed in on that dick for some reason.
Must have been some really good dick.
Must have been.
That she never had.
Yeah.
2 hours, though.
2 hours. It's crazy.
I can't sit in a car for 2 hours, not unless I'm driving.
It's commitment.
And within 2 hours, the windows are going to fog up. You're going to look like some weird
people are going to come outside. They're going to be like, why is this chick just sitting here?
Excuse me, miss. Did you lose your keys?
Oh, no, I'm just waiting on my friend.
For 2 hours.
Super weird and super creepy, but super cool. So thank you for that submission.
Hello, Alicia, and welcome back to another episode of Dating Confessions.
Well, hello, Jack. Thank you. And welcome back to all of you guys. Thank you for tuning in once again to Dating Confessions. And remember, if you would like to be part of the show, just go to confessionspod.com. Find the submit your story button, and then you can submit a story to us in writing, or you can submit a voice recording.
And while you're at confessionspod.com, if you love us, think about becoming a member. There's a bunch of bonus episodes just waiting for you to listen to. So this story, when I read it, it made me say, what the fuck, out loud.
Out loud?
Out loud. And I was at work, mind you, when I saw this story.
Uh-oh.
And I'm glad my boss wasn't around, because then I would have had to tell him.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have just been really awkward. So I'd rather he just listen to it here.
It must be super awkward.
It's super weird. Like, really weird. It made me say, what the fuck?
Well, I'm ready.
Are you?
Yes.
You're done with the suspense?
I'm super ready.
Okay, so here's what happened. This girl said she had just broke up with her ex, and she just wanted some random guy to talk to, or guys to talk to, while she got over her ex. Well, she met this guy on Whisper.
Whisper.
I know, it's so old. So old school. No, Whisper's horrible. Whisper is an app that's completely anonymous, where people just go and post shit just to see what other people will say. and then try to fuck them.
Yeah, people say like the most horrible shit. They do. They say the most horrible shit and they do the most horrible things because they know it's anonymous and they can get away with it.
Best trolling ever, though.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so she meets this guy on Whisper. She starts talking with him. I guess they're getting to know each other really well. She's telling him about herself. He's talking about himself. So they decide they're going to meet up for a coffee date.
Okay.
The day that they were supposed to meet up for the coffee date, one of her family members had to get admitted to the ICU. So she said she had to get a hold of the guy, postpone it. He was understanding. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I completely get it. Whenever everything's situated, we'll go back out. Okay. So 2 weeks later, they go to meet up for coffee. Now they meet up. The coffee date goes well, so they just start walking around town, chatting, hanging out, etc., etc. And she's like, I really enjoyed this. I hope we can do it again. And as she's getting on the bus, mm-hmm. he just happens to mention, oh, by the way, I had to call the police and tell them that I was on this date because I'm a sex offender for horse-related images.
What?
The fuck? Yeah. Horse-related images. I don't know what kind of weird fucked up...
What kind of weird bestiality porn is he into?
I don't know. I mean, the first thing I thought of was like he was like in like a downtown area fucking a horse. But then it said pictures, and then I was like,
well, maybe it's him in the pictures.
Maybe.
Huh.
Lewd, incriminating pictures of him fucking a horse.
Why would you take pictures of yourself fucking a horse?
Was the horse underage? Was it just really a pony?
Ooh, that's disgusting.
I know. Now you know why I was like, I really don't want to have to tell my boss this story and why he said, what the fuck?
Ew.
Uh-huh.
Dude, you probably should have told her that, like, up front. If you're a sex offender, that's something I need to know before we hang out.
Right. I don't care if you're a sex offender for children, for horses,
it doesn't matter what.
Mammal. I don't care. You need to disclose that information.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ahead of time.
Horses, though.
Some people like horses.
Okay. But yeah, I really enjoyed that story, so thank you for sending that in.
So this one, it just tickles me. I don't know. It almost sounds like it could be one of your hometown stories, Jack.
It might be. I'll let you know.
Well, first of all, the guy says that they met at Applebee's.
My hometown doesn't have an Applebee's. Actually, there's not even an Applebee's, as far as I know. Mm-hmm. I mean, they might have built one in the last few years in the next town over, but I know my hometown will never have an Applebee's.
That's just like Applebee's, as far as casual dining goes, that's just like bottom of the barrel. Like everybody pretty much knows that.
If you're over 30, that's where you meet up, at Club Apple.
Do they still have trivia night?
Yes, they do.
Oh my Jesus. So
and
anyway,
I am a master.
At trivia night?
At trivia night.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. I do like me some trivia. Trivia is cool. So he meets her at Applebee's, and she's one of these bitches too. Like, I don't get this. She brings a friend along with her. Like, why do you do that?
Because the possibility of having a three-way totally just increased.
Whatever. So they meet at Applebee's. They have some drinks. They get a little buzz going on. And then the girl that he's out on the date with, she's like, "Hey, you want to get out of here and go back to my place? We'll ditch my friend and we'll go back to my place."
How about we don't ditch your friend and go back to your place?
For him, probably either way, right?
Right. Pussy's pussy. I get that.
So he was like, yeah, cool. They get back to her place. And he says her place is really just a single wide trailer.
Of course it is.
That's in the backyard of her parents' house, which is just really another single wide trailer.
You know, if you put those together, you have one double wide.
There you go.
So let me get this straight. I got to get this image in my head. You have a single wide trailer, and then behind it is another single wide trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mom and dad live in the front one, and the daughter lives in the back one.
I can honestly say that situation has never happened to me before.
Well, he says it got really weird because they got back there and they had a couple of drinks, but then he said she kind of disappeared into her bedroom, and he's like, I don't know if she passed out. What happened?
When a girl goes back to her bedroom, you're supposed to follow.
Well, he said he shut the door, and so he was just kind of there on the couch. And I guess he was gonna go see what happened, but he ended up, because remember they were kind of drunk, so he ended up just passing out on the couch. She was in her bedroom. He said that he woke up pretty early the next morning, kind of
trying to figure out where the fuck am I?
Yeah, kind of. Well, yeah, that, and then he just kind of gathered his effects, and her bedroom door was still closed, so he kind of just let himself out. But he had to walk past, the other trailer in the front yard to get back to his car. So he says the girl's father, I guess, was sitting on the front porch of his trailer, like just watching him as he left, sitting there straight up, like just cleaning a rifle. He said it was either a rifle or a shotgun. and yelling at some dogs that he was pretty sure was trying to attack him. So he's like, yeah, I got to my car pretty quickly and I got out of there.
That very well could be a hometown story. Minus the Applebee's. Oh my God.
Maybe they just said it wasn't Applebee's to throw us off.
Right. It was actually like, I don't know, the Imperial Dragon.
I was going to say, you don't even really have any chains.
We had, okay, so in my hometown, we have a McDonald's.
Okay, that's not really a restaurant.
A Hardee's.
What kind of fucking town doesn't have a McDonald's?
A Dairy Queen.
All fast food chains. You hear this, guys?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Can you think of one that's not a fast food chain? No Applebee's, no Chili's, no TGI Fridays, no nothing?
No.
Wow. No Olive Garden?
Like if you wanted to eat other than some local place that God knows.
You got to drive.
You got to drive like 20 minutes to the next town over. Yeah, McDonald's, Hardee's, Dairy Queen. And Hardee's was gone for years. And they finally got it back. So for the longest time, it was just McDonald's, Dairy Queen.
They took out Hardee's before they took out Dairy Queen.
Yeah, well, no. They took out Taco Bell. They had a Taco Bell like in a gas station for the longest time.
How does Taco Bell not do well?
I don't know. But yeah, those are the only food restaurants that are not locally run by families.
Wow, you really did grow up in the middle of nowhere, didn't you?
The middle of nowhere.
Wow.
Horrible experience. Kind of like what this guy probably had.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God. And the shotgun. That's just classic.
I picture him like in a rocking chair, like Clayton Bigsby style, except a white dude.
Yes.
Anybody's going to have sex with my daughter, it's going to be me. You better get out from around here, boy. So yeah, dude, I'm glad you got the fuck out of there because that sounds like that was about to be some crazy bullshit. And thank you for submitting your story.
You know, marijuana is a hell of a drug.
Like cocaine?
Yeah. Kind of like cocaine.
Well, not like cocaine, but it is a hell of a drug.
And I say that because of this next story. This girl met this guy on my favorite fuck app, Tinder.
Mm-hmm.
They're both in the service industry. So she's a server and he's a bartender.
Okay.
So they both got off around the same time. Mm-hmm. So it was like midnight.
Yeah.
Well, they went to go get a couple drinks.
Probably wherever everybody in the service industry goes after they get off work for the night.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, so they have a couple drinks, and he's like, hey, I'm cat sitting for a friend, and their apartment's nearby. Would you like to come over?
Help me defile their apartment?
Yes. So she was like, I like cats. We're having a good time. Don't know if I want to sleep with him yet, but I'll go. So she goes over there. She says the cat's completely adorable. So she pets the cat, talks to the cat, and kind of throws him away so they can do some heavy petting.
Mm-hmm. Of their own?
Of their own. Yeah, I guess she doesn't really throw the cat away. She just pushes him to the side.
She chucked it across the room.
Yeah, because I totally just made it sound like she threw the cat in the trash can.
You're horrible.
I mean, I would throw a cat in the trash can.
You're horrible.
I hate cats. I hate cats. They're half in, half out.
Wow.
Half in, half out.
Wow.
So anyway, there's some heavy petting going on, and she kind of pulls back. I don't know what happened. Some kind of vibe changed. Because she said it was for her own reasons. She just decided to stop.
Yeah.
Well, at the bar, he mentioned that he used to smoke marijuana, but he stopped because it made him paranoid.
Okay.
Which is a good reason not to smoke.
That's a good reason to stop. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're smoking and it makes you paranoid, you probably shouldn't smoke. She said at this point in her life, she always carried a joint with her. Like always.
Right.
Like servers do.
Yeah.
My server, I expect her to be a pothead or him.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
How else are you going to deal with
all those fucking stupid
idiots
people
all day long?
Yeah.
All night long.
Well, anyway, so she's like, can I light this up? And he's like, well, go out on the balcony and go ahead, light it up.
Yeah.
So she lights up. She's out there smoking a little bit. And then he comes out and he's like, so can I hit that? Meaning the joint.
No. No, I know what you meant.
Okay.
No. It makes you paranoid?
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
So she's like, he's like, please, come on, let me just hit it once. She's like, fine. Literally, guy takes the joint, does one of these things.
Did it turn into reefer madness up in there?
She said 45 seconds went by.
Oh, shit.
And he went from normal to full on paranoid as hell, having a heart attack because his heart started beating super fast.
Yeah, he went full on reefer madness.
Yes. He then decides, I need to go to the hospital.
Off one hit of a joint?
Yes.
Come on, dude.
Because he's having heart palpitations.
Come on.
He's having a heart attack.
That's not even enough to do anything.
You wouldn't think, but I mean, who knows?
What a drama queen.
She just suggests, hey, let's just go get a slice of pizza, kind of relax, you'll be fine.
Right. Just chill.
And he's like, no. I can't. I need to go to a hospital. So he grabs his phone and his phone is dead.
Of course it is.
And she couldn't find her phone because he was in a panic and he was in like this hurry to get out. So she didn't have a chance to even find where her phone was. Mm-hmm. He runs out of his friend's apartment, locks the door.
That's when you go straight to your car and you just leave.
You would think. That's what I would do. At this point, I'd be like, you know what?
Nope.
Fuck this dude. They tried to go find where the emergency room was or where a hospital was, but they couldn't because dude didn't have a phone to put nearest hospital into Google Maps because it was dead.
What a shit show.
Well, they went into a bar. He's like, oh, I'm just going to go into this bar and I'm going to find out. So he goes in the bar and asks the bartender as the girl is like, dude, I am so sorry. He's high and
out of his mind right now.
Stupid. And the bartender was like, okay, so the hospital's here. Here's a glass of orange juice. Just drink the orange juice, dude. Mm-hmm. Didn't even touch it. Ran out. The bouncer wouldn't even let him back in. And the girl's like, I really don't blame him.
Yeah.
Because
he's acting crazy.
Right. So then he sees two people on the street and he's like, where's the nearest hospital? And they had these looks like they were about to get robbed.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
What the fuck's going on? Who's this crazy dude?
Yeah. Running up to me in the street asking me where the nearest hospital is.
So chick comes up and she's like, I'm so sorry. This is what's going on. He smoked a little bit of weed and now he's a little bit dumb. And they're like, okay, so the nearest hospital's here, right? Mm-hmm. He runs out into the street and hails a cab. Because they're in New York, as I forgot to mention. But
okay, yeah.
They're in New York. So he hails a cab. Cab stops. He jumps in. She's like, fuck. Jumps in with him. She's like, this shit's actually happening. We're going to the fucking hospital.
Because he took one hit off of a joint.
Yeah.
I feel like he planned this.
Super pissed off. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean... I'm sorry, and just starts getting all like freaked out and apologetic. They get to the fucking hospital, right?
Finally.
and they're at the emergency room at the triage station telling the nurse what happened. He's the one telling the nurse what's going on and what happened.
If I were the nurse, I probably would just like be looking at him like, what is wrong with you right now?
Well, the girl that he's with is tapping her foot in disgust and kind of laughing, like, oh my,
like signaling
God.
To the nurse.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And the nurse is just kind of like, have a seat over there, right?
Uh-huh.
So they finally get him in and they get an EKG, and the dude keeps asking the EKG person, I don't know what they're called.
Some kind of a technician, I'm sure.
Yeah. Am I having a heart attack? Am I dying? Am I going to be okay? And they're like, I just do the test.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor.
They can't diagnose anything.
I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, are you sure? Are you sure? And he's like, one, like I said, not a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Two, neither are you.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably shouldn't try to diagnose yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, that dude was a legend.
Awesome.
Yes. So then he goes to a bed and gets into his little gown, and this resident doctor comes in, looks at him, talks to him, and then just leaves. After about 2 hours, the actual doctor came in,
mm-hmm.
and she's like, I know exactly what they were doing. The first doctor comes in, tells you what's going on. You have a heart rate of 120, a little high but normal.
Mm-hmm.
You're okay. You're not dying.
Yeah.
Wait a couple hours. The weed wears off. You look like a jackass when the second doctor comes in to release you. Right?
Uh-huh.
So they finally get home at like 7 a.m. And she's like, well, he offered earlier to, and said, hey, you can go. She's like, I can't. He's like, well, why not? All my shit's at your house. And it's locked inside.
Yeah, true.
He's like, well, you can use my keys. Here they are. I'm like, that's kind of dumb, dude. Mm-hmm. But what the fuck? So she's like, no, I can't take your keys. You're a dumbass.
Yeah, just giving your keys to somebody random.
Yeah.
That's not smart.
So she stays. And like I said, 7 a.m., back home, can't find her phone. She says, I'm going to ping it this afternoon. Just get a hold of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll come get it. Finds a phone, gets a hold of her. She goes to get it. He asks her if he could make it up to her because he was like, I'm sorry about last night. She wanted to be nice and not give him a fucking complex. So she was like, okay, let's go out again. Well, they go to a movie this time. And she's like, I really wasn't into it. It was weird. I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, 2 things came out of it. She's like, 1, I stopped dating men after that. And 2, she decided to quit smoking weed and go back to school to be an EMT. And she says, I love my job and she can deal with any marijuana-related trauma.
Good for her. Good for her.
How great is that? Like, why, dude? Why?
If you know it makes you that paranoid, just don't. Don't. That
was a great story, and I really thought it was funny. So thank you for that submission.
This one is just cringe, y'all. So this girl had a guy pretty much reveal to her within the first 5 minutes on their first date that when it came to sex, he was into some really kind of freaky, weird shit.
Like how freaky weird?
Like weird. Like, and it's not even, it's one of those fetishes. It's not even, there's not really a sex act involved. Oh, it's a humiliation fetish, basically, is what it is. It's a variant of that.
Oh, okay. That's not too freaky.
Well, he told her that he likes to be trampled. So yeah.
What do you mean trampled?
Like have someone walk on him or like walk on his face in heels.
In public or alone?
No, alone, I'm sure. No, I'm sure he doesn't want that in public. But no, yeah, he wanted a woman who would trample him, stomp on him, that kind of crazy bullshit. And then when she was finished, he wanted her to make him lick her feet. And right after he gets done telling her all this, so yeah, he's like one of those, I guess he's into like that submissive humiliation type stuff. But right after he gets done telling her this, she said he proceeded to kind of berate and make fun of their waitress for pronouncing some beer name incorrectly. So he's a douchebag too.
You know what I would do?
Like he made a big deal out of that.
Like if I was this chick and he did that in front of me, his fetish just became my new guilty pleasure.
Just make him look like an asshole too?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You just stomp hard, long, and you just totally fuck that dude up.
I guess. So she said they get through the date. It's all she can do to get through the date. About 45 minutes later, the check comes. The waitress sets it down. Before the waitress even walks away, he looks at her and at the date, at the girl, and he's like, make me pay for it. Make me pay for it in front of her. He's like, tell me that I have to fucking pay for it.
Really?
Yeah. He was all like, make me pay for it. Make me do it. And then he was like, tell me that I'm disgusting and that I'm a bad boy and that this is my punishment. And she was just kind of like, what? What the fuck, dude? And I bet the waitress was too. Like, you guys need a minute?
I'm sure the waitress was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
But if I already had to sit through all of that.
I'd be like, I would probably indulge. I'd be like, hell yeah, you fucking pay for it.
Mm-hmm. And I would say it in the meanest, cruelest way possible.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to pay itself. I'm not picking that up.
You're a horrible, disgusting person. Now pay my bill.
Yes. And that's just, that's so creepy.
I love it.
So weird.
I kind of love it.
Make me pay for it.
Oh, I'll make you pay for it.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So yeah, thank you for that. That actually, it was very cringy, but it did make me laugh.
So this girl writes in, said she was scrolling through one of the fun dating apps at work, and she came across this guy and was like, okay, I want to check him out. She sent him a message and he's like, nice to meet you. Would you like to go actually have a real conversation and grab a drink? She's like, wow, somebody who's not instantly trying to get in my pants, who actually wants to go somewhere and not be like, the pen pal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
She's like, sure. So they met up for drinks. And when he gets there, they start talking about him a little bit because apparently he's in the process of getting his master's degree. Okay. So she's like, oh, so are you working and getting your master's degree at the same time? He's like, yeah, he's like, I was working at this place, blah, 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 but I was forced to take a little hiatus. So when anybody says I was forced to take a hiatus.
Yeah, why?
That's the first thing that pops in my head. And I'm definitely going to ask him, like, so why were you forced to take this hiatus? Mm-hmm. Well, that's what she did. And she asked him and she was like, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Because he told her.
He did. And he said that he was a recovering porn addict.
Recovering
porn addict. And as his debilitating addiction to porn caused him to lose his job.
So he got fired from his job.
Yes, because...
For looking at porn at work, probably.
Well, that was one thing. But the other thing was he would call in sick. And then he'd get caught lying about having some medical condition. Just because he was so obsessed with porn that he had to stay home and watch it.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Then goes on to say, I was kicked out of my apartment that I was sharing with my ex-wife because whenever we would have sex, I couldn't focus on anything but the porn that was on the TV.
So his wife kicked him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he ran out of money, so he was asked to leave.
Yeah, she kicked him out.
Yeah, pretty much. And then goes on to say, well, I've been in recovery a few times. He's like, I had relapses.
Bitch, I'm not trying to deal with that.
And then goes on to say, I'm trying to get into a healthy sexual relationship with somebody, and my therapist says that dating is the answer. And then goes on to say, sorry, was that a bit much for a first date?
No, that's completely the appropriate level of information to share on a first date.
Exactly. No, I want you to share that much information.
Yeah, because now I know.
I don't have to go on a second date to find this shit out. Mm-hmm. You just told me
I don't
everything
even have to guess.
I needed to know.
Wow.
And she also said that, well, when they got up to awkwardly hug, he didn't ask her on another date.
Yeah, good for him for knowing.
Yeah, he was like, I'm pretty sure I know.
Yeah. I mean, good for him for that.
So that was great. Sorry you had to hear about some dude's porn addiction, and I'm sure that he went into grave detail about what kind of porn he likes to watch as well.
Ew.
Think about that one. Thank you for that story.
All right, so this one, y'all, all I got to say is buckle up. Hold on tight. So this guy is out on a date with a girl. Of course, they met online. They go to a restaurant. They're talking, getting to know each other. And he says, at this time, they're both in their 20s. So they're young. They were asking questions about each other. And she asked him, she was like, do you have any roommates? And he was like, yeah, I do. I have a roommate. His name is Dave. Dave and I have lived together for, the past almost however many years, 2-3 years. And she was like, wait a minute. Dave, what does Dave look like? So then he starts explaining what his roommate looks like. And then she was like, what's his last name?
He's like, I don't know. We've lived together for 2 years, never asked.
No, he tells her. He tells her his last name. And then she's like, oh my God, I know him.
How do you know him?
Well, she doesn't quite mention that.
Oh, so you fucked him.
But she was like, oh my God, I know him. He's so cool. He's so nice. Then she starts going on and on and on about him. He said she did a complete 180. Like she just completely lost interest in him and just fixated on talking about his roommate for the next hour. Talking about how cute he was and he always smells so nice and he dresses so well and his hair is always so shiny. And at this point, dude's like, kind of weird, but whatever, man. Whatever, I guess.
See, I have a plan for that situation. I do. I have a plan for that exact situation.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Let me get through this because I do. I want to hear your plan. I totally want to hear your plan. But I'll tell you what he did or how their date played out.
Okay.
Of course, he really was not feeling it. So he said he just kind of sat there. He just was basically bored and he listened to her drone on about his roommate for the next hour. So they're finished eating. He gets up to leave. He makes it pretty clear, that he's going home. And she was like, oh, okay. She didn't seem too upset about it either. She was like, oh, okay, cool. She was like, I had a really nice time, call me later, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, okay.
Tell Dave I said hi.
But yeah, right. Basically, they go their separate ways. Dude gets home and he immediately is like, Dave, I just went out on a date with this girl and it was super weird. She said she knows you and that you guys are friends or whatever, but she didn't tell me exactly how she knows you. And the roommate was like, wait a minute. He was like, you got a picture of this girl? And so, dude, he pulls out his phone and he's like, yeah, it's this girl right here. So Dave looks at the picture. He said, like, the color immediately just started to drain out of his roommate's face. Dave picks up his phone. He calls the cops. The cops show up.
What?
About 10 minutes later. They find the girl in the parking lot of their apartment complex. She gets arrested. Apparently, she had violated a restraining order that Dave had taken out on her, about a year earlier. And that was her plan the whole entire time. She went out with his roommate to try to find out where he lived so that she could go back to his house and stalk him.
I like that.
Isn't that crazy? Dude, she played the long game for real.
That is way better than my plan. Like, way better than my plan.
Well, that was her plan. That was her plan.
Oh, I know. That's a way better plan, though.
Isn't that crazy?
That is.
Like, and she's batshit crazy, too, because if you stalk somebody on that level, like, you're crazy. But she still had the wherewithal to be able to, like, formulate
how she was going to do this.
A plot like that, yeah.
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 And how did she even know that his roommate was on dating sites or however?
Dude, I don't know.
That's crazy.
It's probably not that hard to narrow down. You know what I mean? Like if you only go out with guys that you know live in a certain town. Unless it's a really, really big town. Crazy,
I have to say
yeah.
that's a cool story. So that was totally nowhere near my plan.
What was your plan?
But my plan would have been as she's going on about my roommate, my phone would be at my lap and I would text my roommate, "Hey, do you know this chick? Question mark, question mark, question mark." And now if he sent me that back and said, "Oh my God, I have a restraining order on that bitch," then I'd be like, okay, so here's what we're going to do here.
Yeah.
But if it was just not somebody like in that situation, I would say, "Hey, you at the house, coming by with her. Let's have fun."
Wow.
You know, after I figured out if she was safe or crazy or what she was.
Well, this girl sounds hella crazy.
But yeah, that would be my plan. Because my roommate, my perfect roommate anyway, would have my back and be like, "You know, honey, I would love to have sex with you, but it's got to be a 3-way.
Wow. No condoms. Ew.
That's like my perfect roommate.
Gross. So yeah, the guy that she went out on the date with, like, he had to have felt a little bit bamboozled after that. Wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
I wouldn't trust.
Like a little bit like you got.
I wouldn't trust women for at least a day, maybe 3.
Or at least crazy women.
And I'd feel them out first.
Be like, are you using me to get to somebody else?
"Do you know Dave?"
Yeah.
That'd be my first. "Do you know Dave?" And when they're like, "Who?" Like, okay, we're good.
Cool. That really could have ended a whole lot worse than what it did.
Yeah, it could have.
Should have been breaking in their house that night. Waiting for them to fall asleep.
Dave would wake up in a very compromised position.
No, she would just come in and like cut a lock of his hair or some bullshit like that.
And then stand there.
Over top of him?
Over top, yeah.
Ooh. So anyway, thank you for that submission. Contrary to what Jack says, stay away from the crazy chicks.
It's just my thing. So it's now time to talk about our weekly poll. Last week's weekly poll was, would you have sex in public? There was 3 options. Yes, no, or I would if I knew I wasn't going to get caught.
Oh, I bet people said they would if they knew they were not going to get caught.
And you'd be correct.
Yay!
So 17% of people said yes, 17 said no, and 66% of the people said if I wouldn't get caught.
Hell yeah, they would.
Of course they would.
Hell yeah. So 34% of people lied.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. There might be some people who just are completely turned off.
Well, no,
by
only
the
17%.
It's only yeah.
Because 17 said yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they would do it no matter if they knew they were going to get caught or not. So hell yeah.
So 17% of people. I feel like some of y'all are lying.
It's a possibility. So this week's poll question is, how long should you wait before you tell your significant other about your weird fetish?
I'm going to say a reasonable amount of time, but not too long.
What would that be?
For me, it would probably be like right before the point you decide that you want them to be your significant other.
So how many months is that, do you think? Or how many weeks would you say on average?
Maybe a month.
About a month?
A month or 2.
Is when you should just let them know about your fetish?
Yeah, maybe probably maybe after you've had sex a couple times.
That's what I would say.
Because some of that stuff you can kind of like...
just gradually get into.
Yeah, you can kind of tread the water a little bit, like while you're having sex. You can kind of feel it out and see if they're going to go for it or not.
Yeah, so I'm saying like 2 weeks.
2 weeks for you?
Yeah. So you're at a month, 2 weeks. Let's see. To take our poll, go over to Twitter and find us at Pod Confessions or search for Dating Confessions Podcast and take the poll.
And don't forget to share us with all of your friends and family, your enemies, your coworkers on your social media. Carrier pigeon. You know what? I just found out the other day how carrier pigeons work. I can't believe that I'm almost 40 and I didn't know that. But anyway,
I learned.
You guys should check it out. It's actually pretty cool how they work. All that to say, please, please, please share dating confessions with everyone you know. We really do appreciate all the support that you guys have given us over this last little bit. We could not do it without you. We only do it for you. And then last but not least, please don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting app. All right. I think it's time to get back into these stories.
So I have another crazy chick story for you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's great. So this guy had been dating this girl for about a year.
He didn't know she was crazy yet?
And he said she was a little jealous,
Okay.
but not really crazy. Kind of protective, kind of. Mm-hmm. They'd been dating for a year. They didn't live together, but she would come over and she had a key. And, they knew everybody's phone locks and everything. So it was kind of, they were in a relationship.
Right.
A little bit of backstory. This guy was put up for adoption and his grandparents adopted him. Mm-hmm. His birth mother, he calls her by her first name.
Okay.
And grandma and grandpa are mom and dad.
Got you.
So in his phone, it says, her name. Mm-hmm. Well, she comes over because they were going out. He was still in the shower getting ready. His phone went off. So she went and checked it. And at the end of the text message, it said, I love you. She flips the fuck out.
Oh, God.
He's in the shower. She screams at him, you cheating bastard.
Don't even give him a chance to explain himself?
Yeah. He got out of the shower and was like, yo, that's my birth mom. We talked about this.
I bet she felt like an idiot.
No, she kept it going.
Wow.
Yeah, kept it going, just freaking out, saying, you need to admit you're cheating on me. I'm not cheating on you. When do I have time to cheat on you? It's my fucking mom.
Projection.
Right? This argument goes on for a little bit. She storms off because he goes to the bedroom to get dressed. Mm-hmm. She takes his phone.
Does she text her back?
Oh, I don't know. Didn't say anything about that.
That would have been funny.
Oh, that would have been funny. Doesn't say anything about that, but it does say that he came out, he was looking for his phone, he couldn't find it. Well, he had an iPhone, so he got on his computer.
To locate it? Yeah.
To locate it, and he saw that it was moving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he realized she had his phone. So then he immediately changes his lock code from the computer and drives to his parents' house.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have a phone. So he drives to his parents' house to use his dad's phone. Calls this chick and says, what the hell? Why do you have my phone? I need my phone to be at work in 20 minutes, and I need my phone for work.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not giving you your phone back until you apologize. You write me a poem, and just these...
write me a poem?
Right. Just these absurd requests.
Wow.
And he's like, I'm coming to get my phone. She's like, if you come anywhere near the phone, I'm going to throw it in the sink.
She's been watching too many Lifetime movies.
I know, right?
Too much Hallmark Channel.
So his dad's listening to all this. He hangs up, and dad's like, dude, just call the cops.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, why are you even playing with this girl right now? Dad's
like, I will let you use my phone. Go to work. Do your thing. Well, he called the cops. Basically, the next day, heard from the cops saying, you can come get your phone. We have it. He gets there, and then they tell the story of what happened when they got there. Uh-huh. They knock on the door. The girl comes out, and she's like, the officer's like, we're here for blah, blah, blah's phone. He says, it's here. They have it on the locator, so they know it's there.
It's there, yeah.
She's like, oh, he's lying. He's just doing that to get back at me. He's mad at me. And the cop's like, ma'am, I have it right here.
Yeah, there's GPS, bitch. There's GPS.
She's like, no, this is my phone. I'll show you. I'll unlock it. So she tries to put in his unlock code.
But she can't unlock it.
She can't unlock it. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I must have put the wrong code in. No, and it locked his phone out. And they're like, ma'am.
Give me the phone.
You got two choices here. That's over $500, so it's a felony, and I'm going to take you to jail. You're going to get a felony for theft, or you can give me the phone.
Which one did she choose?
She almost chose getting a felony, I believe.
Wow.
But she gave the phone back. Well, when he gets it back from the police station, the phone's dead. The battery's completely dead. He turns it back on, gets all these notifications just popping up. While she had his phone.
Before he changed the code.
No. She would call his phone and text his phone. Well, she had it in her possession.
What?
So when he got all these voicemails. He said his voicemail box was completely full. He's like, that's never happened to me before. Like, how many voicemails do you need to have for your voicemail box to be full?
Why are you leaving him voicemails when the phone is right there next to you?
I don't know. I don't know. He said they went into this progression from rage to, I still know you're cheating on me, but I can deal with this, to, I'm sorry, will you please take me back?
You crazy, crazy bitch. No, nobody's taking you back.
He did not.
Good for him.
I mean, nobody needs that kind of crazy in their life.
No, if you're going to flip out over one text message from somebody's mom, come on.
Like, would you like me to drive you to my mom's house?
Bitch, I know you're trying to fuck your mom.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That was a great episode.
Like, who is out there trying to fuck their mom?
Nobody.
You got issues.
But that was a great one. So thank you for that submission.
This girl, she starts out by saying that and this is kind of relevant to the story. She says that she's pretty in tune with nature. Wow, that sounds kind of like douchey the way that I said that. She's in tune with her feelings and she believes in signs and omens.
Oh.
So she's very like a naturalist, I guess, maybe along those lines. But that's a little bit relevant in the story later. So anyway, she says that she was on Tinder, your favorite fuck app.
Tinder needs to sponsor us for as much quality enjoyment we get out of them.
And she says it started off kind of weird. Like she should have known. She should have known how it was going to go down. I will say this.
I saw his aura.
Ladies.
It was weird.
I seen it. Ladies, not only ladies and gentlemen, always trust your gut. Because 9 times out of 10, your gut is not going to lie to you. That being said, they made plans. She was going to go over to his place. Because, they were going to hook up. Like, skip all that dinner and movie bullshit. Like, if you're just going to hook up, you're just going to hook up.
Right. I don't want to pay for a hookup. I'll get a prostitute. Thank you.
Exactly. So they made plans. She said before she got over there, he, I guess, kind of gave her a heads up that he didn't live alone. He lived with his ex-girlfriend, which that happens sometimes, right? They broke up, but I guess they had just renewed the lease. He says that they were in a situation where neither one of them could really leave.
Yeah, Nobody wants to pay 2 rents.
Yeah. So she was like, I get it, that it happens. That was not a problem. So then the night they were supposed to meet up, I guess right at the last minute, he sends her a text message saying that she can't come over because his ex is there. Now, to me, that's the first red flag, right? If you guys are broken up, why does it matter?
There might be rules to the house. You just don't bring your...
Maybe.
Well, the ex is there.
Maybe. Out of respect. Maybe.
Yeah.
I can understand that, too. So she was kind of bummed about that. Well, then she said a couple hours later, I guess he texted her back and said, hey, she left. He said she was going to go hook up with some other guy. So do you want to come over? So she was like, yeah, I'll come over. So she goes over there. She said she gets to this intersection on her way as she's driving. It's at nighttime, so it's dark. She says on this backcountry road, there is a white fox, like just in the middle of the road, just standing there.
I bet that was pretty majestic, actually.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where she couldn't really get around it. She just kind of had to wait for it to get out of her way.
Yeah, country roads are pretty small.
Mm-hmm. She was like, that's interesting. That's weird. And she said it was kind of a little bit unsettling. Because, a white fox, first of all, like, those are rare. So, yeah.
Is that a part of that mystic bullshit?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Said, it was an omen. Yeah.
Okay.
She said she thinks, she's pretty sure that was an omen. Because she gets there, like, they have sex. She said it was whatever. It was pretty much mediocre. Like, it wasn't anything to write home about. It was, but sex is sex.
Most sex is mediocre.
Especially the first time you have sex with somebody. But no, you're right. Yeah, most sex is mediocre. She says not 5 minutes after they're done, they hear this knocking at the front door. And it's pretty urgent. Well, I guess it was the ex-girlfriend. She came back because she forgot something. So she came back in. And the girl, she says she didn't panic until she saw the panicked look on dude's face. Because they're both still laying in the bed. They have the bedroom door locked. So the girlfriend comes in and she tries to go in the bedroom. The ex-girlfriend, excuse me. She comes in and she tries to open the door to go in the bedroom. And she's like, what the hell? Like, why is the bedroom door locked?
So they're still sleeping in the same bedroom.
I'm getting to that.
Or did he fuck her in her bed?
I'm getting to that.
Ooh.
So they're both still in the bedroom. The girl, she's the submitter. She's, trying to throw all her clothes on. She said that this dude looked at her, looked at the bedroom window, looked at her again, and was like, oh, yeah, no, she doesn't know that you're here. I'm going to need you to climb out the window. And she was like, excuse me, what? And he was like, yeah, I'm going to need you to climb out the window. And she said at this point, she was like, you know what? I just wanted to get out of there. Like, I didn't want any part of it. So she climbed
out the window?
Well, he opened the window, but then I guess they had issues getting the screen out. They couldn't get the screen out. And he was like, fuck. And then they were like, okay, well, I guess we're just going to have to tell her. And she was like, yeah, that's probably what you should have done in the first place. Just tell her.
No, hide in the closet. Hide in the closet. I'll get her out.
I mean, she's still just steady pounding on the bedroom door, like, open the door. What the fuck? So he finally opened.
You know someone's in there. I mean, you're not being quiet when you open a window and try to take out a screen.
Right?
You think she's dumb?
No, not at all. He finally opens the door. The girl who submitted the story, she said the ex-girlfriend, she took one look at her. And then she looked at the dude. She looked at the dude right in his eyes. And she was like, you're a piece of shit. And at this point, homegirl is like, oh, God, I'm about to get my ass beat. And she said the ex actually looked at her. And she was like, no. She's like, I don't have a problem with you. She was like, I have a problem with him. So I guess they were actually broken up, apparently. But it was a 1-bedroom apartment. So yes, it was her bedroom. He was not allowed. He was not supposed to be in her bedroom or in her bed. He had the couch. So if he wanted to fuck anybody, he was supposed to fuck on the couch. So the girl leaves. She's like, you guys work out whatever you need to work out. I am done. She said she leaves. She could still hear her just like bitching him out profusely. And then she said she could hear him kind of like apologizing like a little bitch.
Of course. Because he wants a place to live.
So she says she gets home and of course, she has all kinds of text messages from him apologizing. She says she ignored those. And then he asks her if she wanted to hook up again. He was like, yeah, it's cool now. We smooth things over. We just have the understanding now that I can't use the bedroom because that's her bedroom. So, if you want to come back over, he's like, I'd really like for you to come back over, but we just have to bang on the couch now. She was like, I declined. That's crazy.
So you want to come bang on the couch now? No.
Somebody's couch surfing ex-boyfriend.
I met your girlfriend or ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
I don't want to come back there. Ever.
So yeah, no, she did kind of ignore.
Yeah, there were a lot of signs there.
Some red flags.
There were some signs there.
Like, I feel like your antennas should have been up when he said, yeah, me and my ex are broken up, but we still live together. Not that that's a total deal breaker, but you should probably have some questions before you go over there.
Like, what's the situation?
What are the rules? Yeah.
I'd be pissed too, though.
Is she cool?
Some motherfucker fucked in my bed.
Yeah, in my bed. Yeah, no, you're not fucking some random bitch in my bed. Get the fuck out of here. Now I gotta wash my sheets.
Sanitize it.
Ugh.
God knows what kind of shit you brought in. No, that's disgusting.
He sounds like a real loser, doesn't he?
Sorta. I gotta admit, I'd probably do the same thing. A bed's way more comfortable than a couch.
No, he does. He sounds like a loser. Oh, sorry, she doesn't know you're here. Like, that's not a cool predicament to put somebody in either.
No, it's not. At least he didn't ask her to hide in the closet.
He may as well have. He asked her to climb out the fucking window. Who does that?
You're gonna have to climb out the window? No.
No, dude, you're a grown-ass man. A literal grown-ass man, and you're telling somebody to climb out the fucking window like you're 14 years old. No. You can keep your mediocre sex. Thank you. And thank you for that submission.
And I'd like to thank everybody once again for sending in their submissions. If you want to send in your submission, visit confessionspod.com, leave us a voicemail, or write it out. Either way, we want to hear from you. So until next week,
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Jack.